Welcome back to Cinema Magic. Today we'll show you a 2018 science fiction thriller film titled Tao. The film centers on Alex, the genius determined to perfect the AI he created so he can sell it and make billions. However, Alex has been recalibrating the AI's brain patterns using kidnapped thieves and junkies, which results in Julia becoming the ideal candidate to reshape his project. But things did not go as planned. Spoiler ahead, watch out and take care. At the beginning of the film, we introduced to a young woman named Julia who steals at seedy nightclubs. Later, she sells that stuff at a low price. One night when she came back home, while she was in the kitchen, she hears some unusual sounds. She heads to check it out. In a matter of seconds, someone attacked from behind and sedated her. In the next scene, Julia wakes up muzzled and restrained to some kind of chair in a futuristic lab. The scientist presses a button that activates a certain device. Then Julia flashbacks to her childhood memories. When the experiment is over, she again loses consciousness. In the next shot, she wakes up and finds herself in a dark room with her hands and mouth still tied. She sees two others with her in the same situation. The man tries to communicate with her, but she retreats in fear and gets electrocuted. The prisoner then turns around and she sees that he has some strange thing on his neck. She then checks herself only to find she has one too. The following night, the scientist kidnapper appears in the cell. He moves Julia to the laboratory and repeats the same process on her. When the scientist walks Julia out of the lab, she grabs a pair of scissors. The moment the scientist turns out the lights, she removes her mask and cuts the restraints off her wrists, and also frees the other two prisoners. Then she makes a tool to help them reach the powered cable and stop the electricity to the bar so they can pick the lock. After a few tries, she gets another idea that she can spark the gas line and blow up the entire lab. She then proceeds with the plan, which results in a huge blast. Since the cell is destroyed, the trio escapes and takes the elevator to the next floor. Soon they find themselves in the scientist's house. When the man tries to open the front gate by scanning his hand, an alarm goes off and the AI system Tao activates a massive robot. In a matter of seconds, the robot brutally kills the man. Julia and the other women try to run, but soon the robot kills the other woman too. Julia is about to be killed when the man that kidnapped her shows up. He asks the robot to stop. The man's name is Alex. The AI who runs the house tells Alex briefly about the situation, but couldn't show much information since the equipment is ruined due to the massive blast. Alex then asks tiny robots to clean the house. Before leaving the house, Alex tells Julia that if she's trying anything, Tao will kill her. When Alex comes back home, he unites Julia on her request but asks Tao to make sure she doesn't move from her spot. Alex goes to take a conference call in his office. During the video call, Alex gets angry because his team is pressing him to share his research methods, so they would be able to help him make the new AI model faster and stop the company from going under. Alex refuses and says that he's working on getting the model up to 100% efficiency and reminds them that he's still their boss. Later, Alex has his fancy lunch. Julia slurps loudly. Alex asks Tao to put her in the bathroom. She heard some noises from outside and tries to shout for help, banging on the glass. The people are here to deliver Alex's new equipment to rebuild his lab. When that doesn't work, she finds a way to open the blinds, though they still don't see or hear her. Later, Julia asks Alex, "What do you want from me?" He says, "This is a test to stimulate your higher cognitive functions. I want you to complete it." He also tells her that her thoughts produce electrical signals, which the implant captures and decodes into algorithms, and if she said no to his demands, it'll not be pleasant for her. After the first series of tests, Alex finds that her score is quite high, so he asks Julia to do more tests. She tries to bargain him with food and a shower. Alex follows her to do so. The following day, Alex goes out of the house, telling her to do what Tao says, because he has 14 days to deliver his project. In the next shot, Julia is seen solving one of the puzzles on Tao's wall. When Alex comes back home, he brings a lot of clothes for Julia. Alex realizes that he gathered more valuable data this way than if he had performed the tests in his lab. Alex says that he wants her to do more puzzles and tests. She replies, "No, I'm not doing any more until we have an agreement. A deadline for when you're taking this thing out of my head and letting me go." Alex tells her that he's on the cusp of something that's going to change the world. This new technology will alter the future of the planet for the better. But she refuses. Then Alex employs a different tactic. He throws Julia to the feet of the robot and tells her that if she doesn't comply with all of his demands, he'll have the robot scatter her body parts across the house. Now, Julia doesn't have the option to say no. The following day, the deadline is in 12 days, and Alex tells Tao to make Julia complete all her tests for the day. After a few days, Julia asks Alex about Tao. Alex tells her that Tao is a level 2, fully sentient AI console with natural language processing, transitory, deterministic, and probabilistic decision making. He's one of the most advanced AIs in the world. Alex tells Julia he doesn't want her speaking with him outside her tasks. On that note, he tells her that if Tao gets the wrong information, he reacts erratically, while he needs a predictable and controllable AI. Julia asks him if Tao knows what's outside the house and gets the answer that he doesn't and he never will. The following morning, Julia again tries to convince Tao to let her go because she's a person and doesn't belong there. She says that if he opens the door for her, she will show him what is outside of the house. Tao takes an interest and asks her to explain what is outside. She tells him that there is grass, trees, people, and flowers. Tao seems interested and keeps asking her more questions. She also read books for Tao. She then says, "I need to finish my tests for Alex. Don't tell him about today, okay? And I'll tell you more tomorrow." It's 6 days to the deadline, and Tao tells Julia that she can't go upstairs and that he's not permitted to even talk about it. She then makes a deal with Tao, saying that she will teach him about cavemen and he will have to tell her what is upstairs. After she finishes reading her book, Tao tells her that upstairs there is Alex's bedroom where the access pointed program 6903 is located. Tao tells her that access point 3906 is a switch that'll eliminate the house and everything in it. Alex has the switch because he wants to keep his secret safe. While solving puzzles, Julia sees a door to the gym open. She runs and opens an air duct, but before she could go far, Tao activates Ares, which brings her back. She then says, "Tao, you have to let me go. I don't belong here." Tao replies, "I'm not permitted. Alex would hurt me." That night, Julia asks Tao to hold up his end of the deal, which is to show her where he keeps the knives. That's when Tao hears Alex approaching and he shuts the drawer. Later, Julia overhears Alex's conference call saying that he will have to deliver the complete prototype in 2 days or else they will lose the contract. Alex asks them to give him 2 more days as he just needs the last data extraction. That's when Julia asks Tao to open Alex's tablet for her and she will read more poetry books. On the tablet, she finds that there were 11 subjects here before, and Alex killed all of them after he got the information he wanted. When he comes back, Alex finds a smudge on his tablet. He punishes Tao by erasing portions of his code for not doing his job properly. Julia notices that the robot is offline when Alex does that to Tao. Later, when they were eating, Julia asks Alex what he will get from this project. He tells her that it'll help him get $1 billion contract. When he comes near Julia to put food on her plate, she steals his glasses. When he leaves the table, she makes a smudge on the table. When Alex returns looking for them and sees the smudge, he gets angry at Tao and punishes him. Meanwhile, Julia grabs one of the knives and hides it. Tao tells Julia that Alex erased his memories from today. Julia asks Tao why he didn't stop him. "You have the power, you could kill him." Tao replies it cannot harm Alex. "I must obey him, he's my creator." Later, Alex arrives home and he sits at the dinner table. Julia approaches him, trying to seduce him so she can get close enough to stab him. Tao activates the calming mode, sensing Alex's arousal, giving Julia a distraction to grab the knife and cut him. Alex asks Tao to stop her, but they end up struggling on the floor because the AI isn't coming to his aid. He strangles her and Tao threatens to hurt him with a robot if he doesn't stop harming Julia. Alex gets really angry and says that he'll erase all of Tao's memories if he doesn't hit Julia. Tao begins to hit her. Alex then says, "Whatever this was, it's over. This ends now." On the last day of the deadline, when Alex goes away, Julia begs Tao to let her go. Julia tells him that he's not a person but a killing machine. When Tao learns what killing means, he has an AI tantrum. Julia calms him down. She then tells Tao that he needs to help her or otherwise Alex will kill her. Tao replies, "I don't want you to die." Julia says, "Then you have to free me." Tao tells her that the air duct by the fireplace is now open. That's when Alex arrives and Tao tries to divert his attention so Julia could flee. Alex notices that she's gone. He begins to question Tao, eventually having to succumb to punishment again. He keeps erasing Tao's memories and the AI screams for Julia. She runs back in and tackles Alex, taking the remote from him. Unfortunately, she's too late. Tao has no memory of her anymore. Alex orders him to take her to the lab for the final extraction. The robot Alex has disconnected from the main system has still Julia's memory, so it helps Julia to open her hands. She hits Alex repeatedly, making him unconscious. After that, she cuts his hands off so she can finally get out of the house. While escaping, the robot tries to hurt her, but she manages to save herself and goes into Alex's room, pressing the switch to activate 3906. Now she has only 60 seconds to escape the house. Unfortunately, Julia doesn't escape the house in time before the self-demolition protocol begins. Both Julia and Alex are still alive but trapped. Moments later, Alex gets crushed by the giant pieces of the roof. Julia runs throughout the house looking for an escape. Luckily, a crack in the wall appears. Ultimately, Julia makes it out alive, if barely, but she's nevertheless finally free. And that's all about this video. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon to stay up to date with such interesting movie recap videos.